Hey, this is Pete from 21st Century Prepper Podcast. Tonight we're going to be talking about quarantining yourself and in case of a pandemic, which, although not considered, it's not been declared a pandemic yet. This newest coronavirus, COVID-19, or whatever the official title is, has not been declared a pandemic. It might be any time, supposedly, but it has not been declared yet. With me is Skip.
Good evening.
Pretty much all the time. It's just going to be me and Skip. So it's a lot easier with just two of us.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot more fun than just one of us. Quarantine. The easy part we can tell you is what you should have on hand. The hardest part is when to enact it without official word. If it comes down from local or state or federal level to quarantine yourself, that's kind of simple there. Or health, from your health provider. Unfortunately, they told someone in, where was that, New Hampshire, to do that, and they decided not to, and went to an event where 200 people were, and the potential of infecting people at that event, they say was low, but you never know. I'd be talking to a lawyer if I was at that event, for damn sure. I can tell you that much. So if someone tells you to stay home, stay home. But when to do that is the hard question. I think that's the biggest question with any prepping thing is people always ask, when would you implement your plans? And that's a personal call right there. That's a case by case, situation there. It would depend on a lot of factors. So, and some people probably couldn't even do it because if they're essential personnel, you may be asked to quarantine yourself at work. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be fun for me because I work at home, so it'd be okay.
Well, Maryland just broke the news that we have 3 officially tested and confirmed cases. So
yep.
I wouldn't call it quarantine, but I'm seriously going to limit my exposure chances. So is it a self-quarantine? Absolutely.
Makes sense, yeah.
There's no reason for me to leave the house, so why? Put yourself at risk,
Yep. And if you have to go get gas or something, you don't even have to leave the pump.
Right.
You pay at the pump and wash your hands right away when you're doing it, or wash the pump while you're there.
Yeah.
Bring a bottle of bleach water with you, clean down the pump, and maybe wear gloves while you're pumping and then discard the gloves and get back in your car. Let's start with what you should have on hand if you're going to be quarantined. Pretty simple. You need food, obviously, and I don't think it would be a really bad case of the shit hitting it if we lost utilities. I don't foresee that in this situation. We've heard nothing about lost utilities in China. I think we would hear about that one. Granted, we've talked about it before about China not being forthcoming in all the proper information just because they're China. But I haven't heard anything about
I don't know
power or utilities being lost. Have you?
I haven't heard anything worldwide at all about it getting that severe. I could certainly see where there could be shortages or issues, but most of these power plants can run themselves for weeks without just about anybody monitoring with late staff, as far as from what I've been told anyway.
Yeah, they still. We still get most of our power from coal, and obviously they have to be fed. The coal has to be mined, the trains have to run, they have to dump, and then they have to feed the plants. So they do have to have people there, but
sure.
I'm guessing they have procedures. If they don't, I'm sure they're working on them right now, just along with every other major big company in this country right now is There's lawyers and HR in
Yes.
meetings going
Yes.
on right now. You know that for damn sure. In every company there is in this country, and possibly the world. So I don't foresee a utility loss. I have people that work in utility, and I've been told by them that they have supplies on hand, and all the way up to military protection if need be. And obviously they'd be supplied by the military if they had to be.
Right.
So let's forego the. I mean, we can talk about it, but let's back off losing power or anything, or water or anything like that. So, but obviously you need food, you need some supplies. As far as supplies, personal hygiene would be a big one. Medication, obviously, if you're on medication.
That would be top, especially if you
Yeah.
have breathing, lung issues, the underlying issues that put you in the high risk category for this illness is you really need to have your medicines on hand and make sure that you take them and don't run out.
Yep, definitely.
That's a huge
And hopefully not have to run out to get them.
right. Exactly.
You don't have to do that, or even have someone else go out for you.
And
get
if you
them.
do, if you can call them in and go through the drive-through, limit your exposure inside the store. That's.
Yep.
Saw in one of these groups where somebody
wear gloves and take them out of the
Yeah.
thing and put them right into another bag, and
Yeah.
wipe it down when you get home, and do whatever. Medication. If you're on medication, would be a big one.
I think the biggest thing that's going to get everybody is if they do self-quarantine. I'm not talking if you're actually sick. The boredom is what gets you. We've sat through hurricanes here and been without power after the 2010 blizzard for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and make sure you have board games ready and stuff for your kids to do. Obviously they'll entertain themselves with the laptop and the Xbox or something, but just make sure that you have things for everybody to do so that you don't get on each other's nerves.
Yeah. I'll use his name on this one because he actually put it in. I think it was in his article that he was in with Jim Cobb. Mentioned writing down what you love about your family.
Yeah, there you go.
Because when they're getting on your nerves, you can look at that piece of paper and remember why you're there with them.
Well, I mean, hell, we're preppers, so go inventory your shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. We're talking about maybe we mentioned it to you before. We're talking about maybe moving at some date.
Yes.
And my wife would like to get a realtor in here to get an idea, because since we moved in here 7 years ago, we've done a lot to the house. So it's a 90-year-old home, and the closets are tiny. It's an old house, so the closets are next to nothing, and there was no shelving in any of them, which was really bizarre. And only 2 of them had rod in them. So we've done all that stuff. We've painted. We've finished the basement. A bunch of crap. So we'd like to get a realtor in here. So I'm looking at what I need, what I can do.
Yeah.
If we're not working, paint and all that kind of crap, and we'll touch up paint and make a list of stuff, that the honeydew list, and get some fixes done and all that kind of crap. So,
It was funny.
Yeah, hopefully, and obviously, if you still have power and TV, there's going to be a lot of streaming going on.
Yeah, Netflix is going to crash for the next week and a half. My father was like the original prepper before there was preppers, and I mean, he was big on, we've had quite a few powerful hurricanes run through here. And one thing he always did when we knew there was a storm coming is he took care of housekeeping before the storm. That way it was one less thing that would drive you crazy and set your teeth on edge and everything else. During the storm, you weren't tripping over your shit. And you know what I mean? There's a lot you can be doing right now just to, it's springtime, spring clean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Organize. Make a pile in the corner of the garage of garage sale stuff.
Yeah, and I swear to God,
once all this blows over,
we've been doing that now. We've got a ton of crap to go to the auction. We have a pile of stuff just ready to go, so make yourself some money, buy some more ammo,
Yeah. Or some more food.
Yeah.
Let's get back to food. It doesn't have to. You don't have to go out and try to buy freeze dried 25-year shelf life food.
No, it's a waste of
money
for
this situation.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah, it's a waste of money. It's not healthy for you. The sodium is way high, and the calorie count is way low. So if you want to, still maintain a 2,000 calorie diet, if you do now, I don't think I do.
I know I don't.
One day it could be 3,500, and the next day it could be 1,100. You fluctuate, and calorie count is really low on freeze dried food. So you have to eat almost 2 meals to get that 2,000 calorie, and then you're talking. You thought you had 30 days worth of food, now you have 15 days worth of food.
Yes.
And you paid, if you bought normal canned goods and dry goods, you probably would have had, for the same price, you probably would have had 60 days worth of food. The price difference between them. And now, of course, people are freaking out and running out and ordering it and buying it, and it's selling out all over.
Yeah, it's creating a shortage.
Just go buy some soup, pasta, spaghetti, sauces. If you want to make your own sauces, just buy canned tomato sauce and canned diced tomatoes.
Yeah, I was to say diced tomatoes.
Simple stuff like that. Go buy. It's not it never looks the best, but the big 10-pound tube of hamburger. It looks like ass most of the time because it's. They say it's 80-20, but there's no way that's 80-20.
Yeah.
It's more like 70-30. But it's usually the cheapest one on the shelf, and portion it out to either half-pound increments or 1-pound increments. When I make spaghetti for 4 of us, I only use half a pound of hamburger. So portion it out, throw it in the freezer.
Yeah, see, we use like 3 pounds of hamburger for 2 of us.
Yeah, well, we don't use that much. I use 3/4 of a jar of spaghetti sauce, and half a pound hamburger. That's spaghetti for 4 of us. So, it's so right there. What is that? I don't even use a whole box of noodles, right? I use maybe 3/4 of the box of noodles. So that meal right there costs about $3.50.
Well, I mean, you can go buy
maybe 4. And that's with ragu and cremette. Yeah. That's not the cheap stuff.
You can go get, I think it's 62 cents a can for the store brand SpaghettiOs and raviolis and. Obviously, you don't want to eat a ton of that stuff, but I mean, if you've got kids and all, they get hungry when they get bored. Go buy a flat of them. It isn't going to set you back, but $6 or something like that. Hopefully,
and get a cheap pack of hot dogs and cut them up and put them in there.
Yeah, hopefully we've preached to the people that listen to this podcast for long enough that they actually have just about everything they may need.
Yeah,
food-wise.
I think we're getting a few new people, so.
Okay.
So,
well then, let's throw it out there. Buy what you eat. Do not buy the can of Vienna sausages that you can't stomach the smell of and spend $15 buying a whole the whole case of them if you don't eat them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to leave those.
Spam.
Yeah. Oh, I love Spam.
I know. I don't like Spam. Some people love Spam.
Yeah, I love Spam.
If you've never had Spam, don't buy Spam. Don't buy a whole bunch of it. Buy 1 can, take it home, try it.
Yeah,
if
I
you
love
like
Spam.
it, go back and buy more. And now they have like 14 billion flavors.
Flavors of it, yeah. That's like that potted meat stuff. Oh my God, I've seen people eat that stuff with right out of the can with a spoon.
Yeah. Give me to the steaks.
I think I'd rather eat a can of dog food.
So yeah, buy what you normally eat. Okay, you're at home. You've been stuck with your kids and your wife or your husband, and God forbid one of the in-laws, and then all of a sudden you're eating something that you normally don't eat, and all of a sudden your body's like, we don't like that, and now you got the shits, right? Or you can't. So now you just took a stressful situation where
made it 50 times worse, yeah.
And now you have this odor coming out of the bathroom that's horrible, or you're standing there holding your gut because you can't take a crap. You don't want that. So I said it last night on the other the update podcast. If by chance you're you live on frozen pizzas, go buy a bunch of frozen pizzas. If you eat TV dinners, go buy a bunch of TV dinners, right? Eat what you normally eat. If you eat out a lot, that you might be screwed there. But again, you probably don't eat out every meal. But go get the stuff. If you go eat subs all the time or whatever, go get stuff to eat make your own subs. Go buy a couple bags of buns, throw them in the freezer. Take one out, let it thaw out, make your own sub.
I would also add to this. I would make haste with this because I have a funny feeling over the course of the weekend you're going to see a shit ton of panic buying. If you are honestly low on food and you do not have 2 weeks, and that would be the CDC and everybody's recommended 2 weeks right now, that you have 2 weeks supply on hand. So let's just go with what they're recommending and say 2 weeks. If you do not have 2 weeks of food, you need to go out, stop listening to the podcast, go get it right now. Listen to it in the car.
Yeah. Hit pause.
Yeah.
Go to the store. Come back. Hit play. So yeah, I could see numbers climbing this weekend, and then it's really going to get stupid.
Payday's Friday,
oh yeah.
People are going to be out shopping automatically.
Okay, welfare checks came out earlier, so
that was past weekend, I believe.
That's past weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Is it always? It could. This week could be EBT also. Might be a lot of EBT buy-in.
Not sure.
So, or whatever it is in your state. So buy what you eat. Minimally 2 weeks. I would probably go, if you can stretch 3, go 3. If you can stretch 4, go 4.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to do, how to figure that out, just figure out what you ate yesterday. Now, it's tough if you go to work and you
buy lunch,
grab something at work, or you grab something, you run down to the deli, or you run to McDonald's and grab something. But try to factor that in, and just look at what you ate for the last 2 or 3 days or 4 days, and then multiply it.
Yeah.
If you've used 2 bags of frozen vegetables in the last 2-3 days, then for 3 weeks is 21 is 7 times 3. So if you use 2 in 3 days, that's 14 bags of frozen vegetables. Okay, and then you maybe throw an extra couple in there just in case, because in case your mother-in-law comes by.
And be mindful that if you're buying things, let's just use a bag of cereal for instance, and you're saying, well, I can buy 3 bags of cereal and have that for breakfast for the next 2 weeks. Milk doesn't stay for 2 weeks. Make sure you have everything to go with that meal, or eggs, or if you're planning on making a cake, make sure you have everything on hand. And use that stuff up the first week. That way you don't have to go out week 2 or week 3 and go buy a gallon of milk, or whatever.
And you can get some powdered milk and keep it on hand. Drinking powdered milk sucks. You can use powdered milk if you're baking. Put it in your baking products.
The Gosner brand boxed shelf stable milk. I love it. I drink it normally, and we just it is shelf stable for up to a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's and they sell that.
We don't have that brand here, but
it's made in Wisconsin, so pretty sure if you look, it's sold at Dollar Tree here. They used to sell it at Walmart.
Maybe I'll check the Dollar Tree in the area. Maybe they have it.
It's really good. It doesn't taste. It's a little more vanilla-y tasting than just standard milk out of a jug, but it's pretty damn good stuff. And we've got quite a bit of it on hand for just that reason. The kids run out of. The kids always tell me when there's milk, when the milk is gone, that it's gone. Never when we're about to run out. So I keep that on hand for when. Hey, Dad, I need milk. Okay, here you go.
And then they go, oh.
Yeah.
Rumor has it my father, not when I was born, but when my siblings were younger, my dad would add it to the milk and add water and to get the milk to last longer. But he denies it categorically. That he would never would have done that. But everybody insists that he did. So, okay, and then, like you said, milk isn't going to last too much longer. Then you have water. Obviously, you're going to want to have. I hate water. You're going to want to have other stuff at hand. Obviously, run out, maybe get some pop, maybe get some Kool-Aid packets. Make sure you got sugar to go along with it. Crystal Light or whatever, Gatorade, whatever you want to drink and have as a variety. Variety is going to be the key. You don't want to have to eat the same crap day in and day out.
I have a lot of those little self-serve, single-serving tubes that you just dump in a bottle of water and shake up. Kool-Aid and I think there's iced tea one in there, some lemonades and stuff. They're cheap. They're really cheap, man. I mean, it's a good thing to have. Yep,
I have a bunch of those in what used to be my bug out bag that's no longer a bug out bag because I've moved beyond the bug out bag. So let's see. So food, just buy what you buy.
Yeah,
and if you want to prepare in case utilities may go out, get some water, or at least you don't have to buy a lot of it, but you can buy some, and then have containers to put water in your home.
Straight from the tap. Yep.
And just whatever. Look at your kitchen and go, we have 4 big, huge Tupperware bowls. We can fill those up with water.
Yep.
Or a trash can. The trash can in the bathroom, or the extra trash can in the garage or whatever, can be filled up with water, and that water can be used to flush a toilet. I remember years ago watching some coverage of, I think it may have been Hurricane Sandy. Where was the one that hit? Was that the one that hit New York City?
Yes.
Okay. The guy some news crew was interviewing someone, and he's in his house, and the power's still out, and there's no water, and he's flushing the toilet with bottled water. Yeah. Like the 16-ounce bottles of water. It was like, that's ridiculous. Go.
My first hurricane living on my own down here on the shore was Isabel, and I wasn't into prepping the way I am now, and I filled up totes with water.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that would work.
And it was a good thing because that was what I was flushing my toilet with.
Yeah, that'd be a ton of water.
That's a ton. Just make sure you can lift it out of the tub,
Oh, yeah. Or just have a pot.
Yep. I mean when you're filling them, because I filled like 3 of them up, and just make sure you only fill it halfway so that you can actually move the damn thing.
Oh yeah, and then fill up another one halfway, and then dump that one.
Dump it in there.
First one.
There you go.
And then daisy chain it till you have all 3 of them full, and the third one is still in the tub. Or you use a pot to fill it up, or something else, or another trash can, or whatever. So go ahead and if you want to get some water, go ahead and do that. But you don't have to go buy 5 40-packs or 48-packs at Costco. You're most likely going to have water. That's a personal supplies in the house. Personal hygiene, like I said, ladies, you're going to have some feminine products probably, I would guess. If you don't have some on hand already, obviously. You're still going to want to brush your teeth. You're probably still going to want to wear deodorant, all that good stuff. The kids are going to, brush their teeth and whatever, and the teenage daughters are going to get zits and, all that crap. And so you're living your life, you're just not leaving your house.
That's the idea.
So you're not, life's not changing, it's just come to a crawl. And you're not leaving the house to go to work. You're staying home. So pretend it's like a extended weekend. Exactly. And you're not going to have any fun outside the house. Supplies for the house. Obviously, you're going to cleaning supplies.
If you can get it, I'd get bleach right now. If you can still get bleach, go ahead and get bleach. Just for the simple reason of if you still are going to work and you have to go to work, take your shoes off when you come in the door. Clean the area where your shoes walk. Take your clothes and put them in the laundry. Make sure you have laundry soap for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do your laundry. How often do you do your laundry now? Now, granted, if you're sitting at home and you're not doing anything, you can probably be in your sweatpants the entire freaking time, and no one's going to care. So you're not going to be dressing up to go to work or anything like that. So you probably won't be doing as much laundry, but you're still going to be wanting to do the laundry. You want to clean your sheets and clean towels and all that kind of crap. So have laundry soap and bleach, and you're going to want to, obviously, you're still doing your household chores. You're still cleaning the kitchen. You're doing dishes. You're going to want to have dish soap on hand because you don't want to have to run out and try to get dish soap. If you can even go to any place that's even open to get any dish soap. Who knows? Like we talked about medications, you're going to want to have, obviously, if you're stuck in the house with your family, you're going to want to have something for headaches.
Headaches, Tylenol for fever. They say that the treatment of coronavirus, if you do actually contract it, the best thing you're going to do is just manage the symptoms, and that goes back to any flu type relief symptoms. Flu relief type medications, so Tylenol or Dayquil or NyQuil, stuff like that. And stuff that helps you clear your lungs. Expectorants. It would be a big thing that maybe have on hand. You don't have to have a lot of it on hand. You just have to have some of it on hand. What the hell is that stuff? Mucinex.
Don't have to go nuts. Yeah, Mucinex, that kind of stuff. You don't have to go nuts. Just keep calm and don't worry about it that much. And again, you still have to. There's lots of ways, lots of things in between someone that's sick over here and you getting sick. There's a lot of things that have to happen for you to get sick and to be affected by it. You can come in contact with someone and never get sick because your immune system is good enough. That's something you can be working on now.
Take your vitamins
properly.
Yeah, take your vitamins.
Drinking plenty of fluids. That doesn't include scotch or vodka. Normal fluids.
Did you
exercising.
I'm not trying to change the subject. Did you see that Tito's Vodka had fielded so many questions about people asking if they could use their vodka as hand sanitizer that they had to come out and make a public statement over it?
I just saw that. Was that in our? Did you send that in the chat?
I might have. I don't know. It's just.
I just saw. I just saw something about Tito. Hang on a second. Maybe it's.
That's pretty damn funny.
Oh yeah. One of our lady friends posted it.
Yeah.
Tito's Vodka has spent the last 24 hours explaining to people that it cannot be used as a replacement for hand sanitizer. God bless Texas. So, that's another thing. Soap. If you don't have, and personally, if you're a prepper who's listening to this, you should probably have soap on hand.
You should probably have just about everything we've talked about on hand, but
if you're new to the thing and you're kind of reacting to the situation, you don't have to buy like pump hand soap. Ivory soap works just as fine. We've used it for, I don't know how old Ivory soap is. Probably 1800s sometime, maybe late 1800s. Okay. And they're the thing of 12 Ivory soap bars is like, what, $4 or something like that? It's ridiculously cheap. Irish Spring, whatever, just wash your hands.
I'm allergic to Irish Spring.
Wash your damn hands.
Yeah, I'm allergic to Irish Spring, so I'll say no to that one.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, we'll pass that.
It's terrible.
So, yeah, have some soap on hand so you can wash your hands a lot. It doesn't have to be liquid soap, and it doesn't have to be hand sanitizer. You can wash your hands with regular soap. You may want to each have an individual bar, maybe, if you're worried about someone getting sick. If you got 4 of you, mom and dad and 2 kids, each of you lay out your own bar of soap and use your soap individually. And then make sure you clean up after yourself.
Yes, clean up.
Let's see. You touched on entertainment. We're going off the thing that we're most likely going to have power. So, and hopefully the streaming services stay up and running.
Yeah.
If those go down, anarchy. Forget losing power. We lost Disney Plus and Hulu. Oh my God, we're gonna die. But
I haven't watched Disney Plus that much. I've watched 3 movies on there. I keep forgetting I have it.
my wife doesn't. My stepdaughter does, but she's 14, so that's the target audience.
Yeah.
Show your kids what an album is, or an LP. Pull them out, put some on.
Ironically, I'm sitting here looking at about 300 of them sitting next to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing quite like it. The snaps and the cracks and the pops. Pull out dust off the CD collection and pop some CD if you still have a CD player that works. Pop one in and just jam the tunes. Piss off the neighbors. What are they going to do? They're not going to come over because they can't, right? Cough on them if they do.
Well, damn! Now you're giving me ideas.
Screw you! I'm going to listen to Dexy's Midnight Runners all fucking day long.
I think we just need to put a disclaimer on the podcast now that they're all pretty much not fucking safe for work.
Yeah, if anybody's listened to us before, they should probably.
Yeah, they probably figured it out.
But so yeah, and sorry, children, don't listen to what the men are saying on the radio.
I mean, there's so much that you can do. If you're into models, start building a model, crocheting or needlepoint, or if you got a car or something that you work on, go out and fucking wash and wax that. I mean, just keep yourself busy, keep your mind occupied. Don't let the stir crazy sit in and
don't sit there on the couch and wring your hands.
Yeah, and talk to your if you cohabitate with somebody, your wife or your husband, talk to them prior to it and say, look, we are both going to want to kill each other by the end of this, so let's
and that's part of the CDC guidelines, which I'm going to cover here in a little bit.
Yeah.
CDC has a thing on their website that's been circulating today, what to do. Some hints and tips.
Yeah, I mean, just sit down and talk and say, I want a couple hours to myself out in the garage, and you can have a couple hours to yourself here, or just that way you don't want to kill each other. And stay off eBay because nothing.
You got multiple rooms in your house.
Yeah,
you don't have to see each other for a couple hours. If you don't.
Let me say it loud so that everybody hears it. Stay off eBay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Bad shit will happen.
Can you imagine the orders flooding eBay and Amazon, and you're sitting around doing nothing? Especially if you've been drinking. I'm looking home. This is the 5th day, and I'm opened the bottle of scotch that we got for Christmas. And, hey, look at Amazon. Oh, they're closed, but what the hell? You got 14 things in your cart. Yeah, stay off any sales sites. Yeah. You're probably not going to receive them anytime soon. So don't do that. Yeah, board games, card games. Get on the internet and download 101 card games that you can play, and it's the instructions of how to play games. And this might be a great thing for some families to actually reconnect with each other who normally are running their asses off and don't sit around the dinner table and have dinner anymore, because Betsy's at soccer practice and Timmy's at baseball practice and mom's got Pilates after work and all that kind of crap. And this might actually, and it may destroy some marriages too, but 57% of them end in divorce anyway. So
can you imagine?
I'm not jinxing anybody here. So
can you imagine what the birth rate's going to be 9 months from
now?
Oh
my God! Holy crap! Every person that has passed away by coronavirus has been replaced by 5.
Yeah. Which brings up, make sure you have birth control.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have some birth control or use another part of the body. Sorry, kids. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Oh, my God.
What did he mean by that,
Mommy? I don't even know what to say right now.
What did he mean by that, Mommy? Well, son. My wife and I kid about the line in Hatfields and McCoys, the newest version that was 8 years ago with who the hell was in it? Kevin Costner and.
I have not seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? It's it was like a mini series. I can't remember which one. It was Kevin Costner that came home and his wife. He comes to the door and He's like, you look good, woman. And she's like, spill your seed on the outside because I can't handle another one. And my wife and I joke about that. We still do. It's been 8 or 9 years now, so we still joke that. Spill your seed on the outside. Yeah. Watch the birth. If it's going to be your 7th child, make sure it's, you're really taking care of it. Or get that taken care of before. Like, shit, I need to call the doctor. Maybe I can get it fixed before this happens. Don't try it at home.
Oh my
Please
God!
Don't try it at home. No DIY prepper stuff here. Don't.
Oh God! Don't even say that. That'll be on one. God, there'll be some fucking article on one of these pages. How to give yourself a vasectomy.
Do not try fixing yourself. And of course, the prepper mantra of stuff you can do while you have downtime. The few hours of downtime you may have in a week, because you're going to be going 24/7. You're going to have to be out there chopping wood. Is you can sit on the front porch and whittle. I've seen that more than a handful of times in the discussions of downtime. The people are going to sit on, they don't need no cards and they don't need no books. They're going to sit on their front porch and whittle.
Yeah, let me know how that works out for you.
You write that down. Have that ready to go. Make sure your knives are sharpened and you have some sticks to whittle. So... Oh, shit like that. I should have brought that one up last night and rant one.
That is a good rant one. I've seen that before. Yeah.
I'm gonna be working 24/7, and if I have some downtime, I'm gonna be sitting on the porch with it. So now, I'm sure there are people that do whittle. Don't send angry emails or anything to me. I'm sure there are, but there's other things you can do too. So now another big one people are concerned about. I've seen the question, what's going to happen with credit card bills? What's going to happen with that kind of stuff? I don't know.
That's going to, from what I've read, that's going to depend on the government response here.
Yeah, the government, like with hurricanes and flooding and all that kind of stuff, they forgive for, they set up an amount of time, 2 or 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they still charge you interest for that 2 or 3 months. So you're still your thing isn't going. Even if you are making, you can make payments during that time.
Well, let's be real. If you get
you're
sick,
not getting a grace period of no interest.
If you legitimately get this and you get sick, call your bank, call your credit card companies, call your mortgage lender, and tell them what is going on. And most these people don't want to take your house. In most cases, they don't want to deal with the freaking paperwork and everything else. Say, look, I am sick. I'm going to be off in work until this is good. That's going to put a huge financial burden on my house payment. What can we do? In most cases, they're going to tack it on to the last payment, or they're going to do some kind of what do you call that? A forbearance agreement, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, something.
Something. Don't hide your head in the sand and expect the problem to go away. Be proactive. Make the phone calls.
Be proactive. Yeah. And part of that too, obviously, and it's a little foreign. It's catching on. I'm glad to see it. 2 or 3 years ago, you never heard it, but financial prepping is now coming to be the forefront of.
Right.
That's the first thing you should worry about is your financial prepping, and. If you have the ability to make a little extra dough doing something, whatever, maybe implement it right now and get it done. Or if you have something you can sell, if you got a car that's sitting there and you want $9,000 for it and no takers, maybe you could sell it for $6,000. You may not like selling it for $6,000, but maybe someone would buy it for $6,000. So then there you got $6,000. Of emergency funds ready to go. One thing you do is look at things that you could cut. If you're sitting at home doing nothing for 2 or 3 weeks, and the kids have a cell phone, the kids have a tablet, the kids have a laptop, and you have a personal computer, and you have your TVs working, maybe if you can with whatever plan you have, maybe you could kill three of your 4 cell phones for a while, and that would make your $250 cell phone bill reduced down to like 80. Or you could get rid of the streaming services. Maybe you're like, we're going to sit here and we're going to have some family time. We're canceling Disney Plus and we're canceling Hulu for the month, and then you don't have that payment for that month or 2 months or whatever, and maybe you end up liking it. I know people that don't have TV at all in their house.
Yeah, we went from using the hell out of it to I think I've had it on once this week.
Yeah.
And that was to keep up
I
on
watch
this.
very little TV. There's only a couple of shows. I used to watch back in the VCR days, and then when the first DVRs came out, I couldn't tell you how much TV I watched every week. It was an ungodly amount. Right now I watch, I think, 3 shows. And sometimes and with the DVRs and with Hulu, you can zip through them.
Yeah.
That 45-minute show turns into watching it for 22 minutes. So look at things that you could cut to save some money. For obviously, if you're paying for a month, the due date has to fall within that. If you want to cut it for a month or 2 months, the due date has to be, close to save that money. But what else have I thought of? Car insurances. If you're not driving anywhere, if you could cancel your car insurance on all of your vehicles except one, maybe talk to your insurance agent before that happens, and find out.
Turn the lights off,
What's that?
Save some money on your power bill. Turn the lights off. Knock your heat down a couple degrees. Put on a sweatshirt instead of walking around in a t-shirt.
Yep.
Real things that can be done.
Yeah. What else is there that I had a mental list, but now of course I can't remember.
Well, the big one's going to be obviously your insurance payments, your electricity.
House payment
is the top king. Make sure they're in the loop with everything. I'm sure your mortgage company, unless you've missed like 50 payments, is going to work with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Same thing with the credit card companies. Will probably work with you if they don't take it through. If the federal government declares an emergency and they do that route. Obviously, you could be proactive and contact all your lenders and all your whatever prior to that. We have a landline still in our house because we needed it for our business.
Yeah.
It's no longer required for that business, but we still have it because it's tied into another business that we have
right.
in the house. So, but that's one of the things we could get rid of. I mean, it's $25 or something like that, $28. We don't have long distance on it, so it's only for local and getting long distance phone calls, but we could get rid of that. Technically, if it got really bad, I could get rid of our internet, keep one of our cell phones, and then do a hotspot.
Yeah.
Our internet's $55 a month, and if we got rid of 3 of the 4 cell phones, I reduce that bill down to whatever, and then hotspot I think runs for free through our plan.
Yes.
So we can use that.
Well, I mean, just to tell the viewers, this podcast is being recorded through a hotspot right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy who games through his hotspot through his phone. He's in Podunk Nowhere, Upper UP, Michigan.
Yeah, that's
he games on a laptop and uses his phone as his hotspot.
Well,
and he kicks our ass all the time.
That's the way this podcast has been run since day one. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's things you can look at prior to anything that possibly might happen. And what the hell? Maybe you're gonna hey, that makes sense. We can cut some money out as normal, even if we're never quarantined in our house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cut some expenses. I just found out we were paying for a streaming service that I had thought I'd cut off. Unfortunately, we paid for it for a year and never used it, and we didn't need to use it. So there's $240 gone. It was stupid. I thought it had been canceled, and all of a sudden, one day I got an email saying because my credit card or my debit card had expired.
Yeah.
So then they sent me an email saying your payment couldn't go through. I'm like, what the hell do you mean my payment didn't? I canceled this like a year and a half ago. Nope.
Yeah, my.
Pissed. talking about you getting pissed off at yourself. Sure. Holy Christ. Because we were paying for another streaming service that we got that same thing on. We were watching The Walking Dead. We dropped one streaming service and picked up another one because it was cheaper.
I gave up on The Walking Dead.
And then gave up. Yeah, I gotta finish it. I can't give it up.
It lost me. Which sucks because I'm like the biggest horror freak zombie.
Oh yeah, and you're praying for like the zombie.
Yeah, like bring them on, man. I want to. I'm not going to say that on the podcast. Yeah, yeah, bring it. Coronavirus zombies. I'm all about it.
Yeah, look for things to cut expenses right now. So if we are get quarantined, or if you get quarantined, it might be, obviously calling for a nationwide quarantine in the United States would be tough. Even China didn't even do that. So, city by city or state by state might happen, or region, whatever, if it gets to that point. Remember, this is all hypothetical, obviously. We have no information other than what everybody else does. Look for cost-cutting measures right now. And make sure, if you are a prepper and you do have cash on hand at your house, it's not going to do you any good if you can't leave the house to pay your bills.
Right.
So maybe go make an extra deposit in the bank. If you pay a bill.
Or you can take that cash and put it on one of them prepaid credit cards.
Prepaid credit card, yeah. Do that. Okay, I know banks are evil, blah, 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 but that's how we're living 2020, okay? Yeah. Banks have been a staple of modern society for a long time. But set up some accounts to pay online. Bill pay online through your bank or whatever, the prepaid credit cards, bunch of ways to pay your bills. Get that set up now, so you don't have to go, oh shit, I forgot, whatever. We can't pay it, and that's just do it now. Figure it out, and then after everything is blown over, then you can go back to paying cash for it later on. What else is there?
I'm not real sure. Ironically, Maryland has now declared a state of emergency.
Yep, I saw that.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what that's going to mean for Marylanders. Right now, I know it just allocates funds.
I just read that the school district should be preparing for getting a plan together, what they would do and whatever. Here, I'll cover the CDC thing here. They have, and unfortunately, I can't see the page here, but CDC suggests creating a household plan now to help protect your health and the health of those who care about if there is an outbreak of COVID-19 in your community. You can start planning now. Talk with anybody who may be included in your plan. If you have a sister that lives across town and she's single and maybe you want to have her come over and hang with you just for moral support, whatever, or to help with the kids, whatever. Bring them into the plan too. Plan ways to care for those who might be at a greater risk. So if you have older family members, whatnot, or people that have pre-existing conditions, talk with your neighbors about emergency planning. That one for preppers is going to be tough because they see evil behind everybody, right? Bob next door is an evil bastard for most preppers. But you may have to do that. Identify aid organizations in your community that can contact for support. That would be Red Cross. That would be any churches, maybe, and whatever other disaster type organizations. Create an emergency contact list. Everybody should have that anyway. And then get more information about creating a household plan. Then they leave a website, but it's all a bunch of gibberish, so I'm not going to go to the CDC website and type in household plan in the search engine. It'll probably pop up. Let's see. I know someone posted it let me see if I can get back to it here.
Here's the bit from the Maryland. They literally just posted this on Facebook 3 minutes ago. This is from the governor, Larry Hogan. We confirmed the first cases of coronavirus. In order to further mobilize all available state resources in response to this threat to the public, I have issued a proclamation declaring a state of emergency in Maryland. With the declaration, I'm officially authorizing and directing the Maryland Department of Health and Maryland Emergency Management Agency to ramp up coordination with all state and local agencies. So, I mean, I think you're going to see that in a lot of states here. I think California has, correct me if I'm wrong, enacted a state of emergency.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that one yet.
I believe they have. Let me see. Multiple states. Here we go. Los Angeles County. California is the latest place. Florida and Texas, as well as Washington State, have. Let's see here. Creating effective solutions. I'm not seeing anything here about, bills and such, but let's be real. They're not going to sit back and let everybody get foreclosed upon. So.
No, they're not going to do that. That would cause talking about a clusterfuck of shit.
Oh yeah,
if that happened.
Economy would collapse.
Let me see. I'm on the CDC website here. I'm going to type in, what did I say, household plans?
I believe so.
Let's see what happens when I pop up household plans, if anything. And my phone is taking for planning guidance and checklists. Non-pharmaceutical interim guidance, business employers, global water sanitation, hygiene, public health response activities. Non-approved. Plan ahead. Let me see what that says. Emergency action plan. Over 6% of people now have. I would say it's more than like 90% of people that have an emergency action plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the right one. But anyway, go look for it. Go use Google and go to CDC and cruise around their website and try to find it. Right now, I can't find who. The person I thought posted it didn't post it.
I thought I had shared that at one point on my Facebook page. I'm not entirely sure.
You shared it in our chat, but it's just a screenshot, so I can't.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, he's got, and no, they're not, like, the government's not out to kill you, so don't worry about that.
FEMA coronavirus death camps.
Yeah, so please see our rant. That'll be posted. That'll be podcast number 26. Definitely not for the children.
I don't think any of them are. This one definitely isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, or any people that have, issues with bad words.
Colorful words, yeah.
Colorful wording.
We should do can we do a Facebook Live on 21st Century Prepper Podcasts page, or was that the group only?
No, I think we can do podcast live or live Facebook Live.
Might need to consider.
We can do live on here. We can do live on Podbean. I don't know how, but it might be only me. I don't know if we can tie in with how we record it, but yeah, we can do a Podbean live.
I don't even remember how the hell I did that.
I don't remember either. So yeah, quarantine. Be nice to each other if it gets to that point where we have to quarantine ourselves or individually. If you decide to quarantine yourself before anybody officially makes you quarantine, make sure you're doing it correctly. Make sure you're doing it for the proper reason. And I've seen people pulling their kids out of school already, people posting about it.
If my children have had lung issues or health issues, I could honestly see doing that. Just for
the people that I've seen have not said that their children have any issues. They're just pulling them out. because they don't want. And the thing is that children, the numbers I've seen, children don't get affected by this as much.
Right. It's the elderly, but again,
it's
the pre-existing
exponentially with your age. Yeah. I mean, it's like a growth chart. The older you get, the more chances of getting it are. So the young kids have been, even babies haven't been affected nearly as much as even teenagers and 20-somethings and 30-somethings.
Well, that's what we know of right now. I mean,
that's what we know of.
This is still fresh information coming in.
Yeah,
because China.
Yeah, hopefully truthful information, and because as we know, we probably weren't getting truthful from China. Yeah.
Well, we'll give people a little background here. When we first, Pete, myself, and a couple of the other former admins of 21st first caught a hold of what was going on, we all pretty much said, "Oh shit," and we've been pretty on top of this since really early, I think, and have a pretty good handle on what's going on, and take it for what you will. Right now, none of us are panicking. So
no. Like I said yesterday on the rant one, I think I've spent maybe $50 extra.
I'm probably
because we use what we prep. Food wise, I buy canned goods, and dry goods, and we use what we have. We have a lot of what we use. Then that's what prepping is. You buy extra of what you need on a
daily basis.
Yeah, but specific items for this threat. I read some stuff and I'm like, oh crap, yeah, that makes sense to have that. So I went and got one, or I ordered one on Amazon, and there was a couple other things, and I did get some masks because for one thing I knew
I did too
that there was going to be a run. I called the run on 22 ammo back in 2013. I went into a gun store one day, and the sales guy knew me. And he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I said, "I think it was the day after the Sandy Hook shooting. It was the day after." And I walked up to the counter with 10 boxes of 22, and he's like, "Wow, you're buying a lot of 22." And I said, "It's going to get stupid." And he's like, "Nah, it's not getting stupid." And like 3 months later, I walked in, and he's like, "Damn, dude, you called that? It got stupid."
It did get stupid.
It got stupid. And I still got those 10 boxes of 22. And a lot more.
Yeah. Once that shit became available again, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of went a little, you could call it batshit crazy.
I haven't bought a box since, well, I can't say that. I bought maybe a couple, just the small boxes, not the big boxes. But
we shoot a lot of 22, so I've gotten quite a few bricks, and even since Christmas time.
I gave away a brick at an auction.
Gotcha.
For a family member who had gotten injured, and we had a fundraiser thing, and it was during the shortage of 22, and I put it up on the auction, and surprisingly, it didn't sell for very much.
That is surprising.
I was thinking we'd get a lot for it.
Not to change the subject on the 22, but when the 22 ammo was at its peak, you couldn't get it. I found that I think it's called Aquila or some shit, that Mexican-made stuff. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the primer fire only. There's no powder in the round.
Okay.
They're really light loads. Man, that shit's a blast to shoot. I mean, you can't use it out of a semi-auto. You got to use it in a bolt, but man, that stuff's great to shoot. It sounds like a pellet gun going off.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I guess we should cover maybe what we need to do, what you should have on hand if you have a sick family member.
Lysol, bleach, disinfecting wipes, hand sanitizer.
Yep. Some of the steps you can do for a sick member of the family. Obviously, if they're sick already, you're screwed anyway, because they've been getting you sick all. You didn't catch it in time.
No.
You're all possibly going to get sick. Because they've been spreading it for a couple of days already, especially with this one that seems to be contagious before you show symptoms. Is what they're saying. So If you have a sick family member, you want to isolate them as best you can. You want to get them, whether they're in whether you designate another bedroom or their bedroom or whatever. Try to remove all stuff that it can linger on. The less, like a hospital room. You don't have a bunch of crap in the hospital. You don't have a lot of pleasantry things. Knickknacks in a hospital room. Really. One of the items I did get was a cover, like a plastic cover for the mattress, in case they have issues. I already had some on hand, but I got 2 more. If they're really sick and you're really freaked out about it, they have Tyvek suits, is what they're called.
Yep.
And it's like with a hood, and it's got long sleeves, it's got booties and all that kind of crap. It looks like you're walking into a radiation.
They sell them in Home Depot and Lowe's, and usually around the painting sections.
Yep. And obviously then you need a mask, and the N95 and better respirators. Some normal, like regular surgical masks will help. Another thing you should have is a face shield, so if they cough on you, or at least goggles, so you don't get, if they cough, they don't spray your face. It's not just through your mouth and through your nose that this stuff can get in your body. It can go through your mucus in your eyes and all that kind of crap. So you want a face shield or a mask, and obviously you want gloves. And make sure no one is allergic to latex in your family. Don't buy latex gloves.
Do they even make them anymore? All I see is the blue ones.
I think they do. Yeah, I've seen them on. My wife bought some for her business, and then she decided she better not use latex gloves just in case, because she molds stuff, and you don't want to get the latex on something someone could potentially eat. So we trashed those, and that was a couple years ago. So maybe, but I'm sure they probably still make them. They still make latex balloons. So
I think the biggest thing with if somebody in your household's sick is to try and keep everything as possible, clean as possible. Change your bed sheets every day and a half, 2 days. Yep. Wipe down the surfaces. Make sure, again, shoes. Somebody coughs, they go down, you get splatter on your shoes. Take your shoes off as soon as you leave the room, or wear booties, just like Pete had said.
Designate, if you have more than one bathroom, designate.
Yes. You there?
One bathroom has if you have like a knick-knacky shelf in the corner with whatever on it, plants and perfume bottles, take that out of there. Take it out of the bathroom, put it in the hallway. That way you can get that room clean and keep it clean and make it and clean it easier.
Food.
I have a plan to hang plastic and all that kind of, and unfortunately all our bedrooms have carpet, so I'm gonna throw plastic down on the floor. Because
any dishes, plates, make sure they go right to the dishwasher. Just like there's so much ways that could transmit.
Or use paper plates and throw them in the trash and have a designated trash, and it goes out immediately. And mark it that it's sick person used this, and then maybe it might be used as deemed hazardous, and then it could be taken care of after shit blows over. Humidifiers supposedly help with breathing, obviously.
I got that interesting thing that we shared in chat about the firsthand experience that somebody supposedly had with coronavirus, and I think it was China. And that's what they said, the breathing was terrible.
Yeah. And they actually, they suggested not to use stuff that makes you drowsy.
Drowsy, yeah.
So, like Tylenol PM, don't use that, because that person was like, it's horrible. You feel like you're drowning, and he was up constantly walking because the pressure on his lungs was unbelievable. So,
Well, that made me go out and buy some Vicks Vapor Rub.
Vicks Vapor Rub, or if you have a humidifier that you can put the Vicks in it, so the Vicks is spewed into the air. That kind of stuff. Lysol, obviously, you want some Lysol on hand. You want some.
There is none
getting
to be
harder
found.
To find.
Yeah, there's none to be
found. I'm sure their plant is running 24/7. If they're not running 24/7, they're doing something wrong. You want. What else was there?
Hand sanitizer, if you can find it.
Yeah, hand sanitizer. You may want something people can, like a bedpan. You never know if you got someone who's older and doesn't want to get up. You may need something for them to use to go to the bathroom in. Something that if they are coughing and hacking up, obviously you want Kleenexes and all that kind of stuff, and a trash receptacle for that to go into, and you want to deem that hazardous and taken care of. And think of every hospital room you've ever been in, and turn a room in your house into that. That if you, and obviously if they're really sick, get them to a hospital if you can. That's first and foremost. Don't try to take care of them at home unless you absolutely have to. And this is when you're just starting to get sick, because it sounds like you start with a sore throat and nasal problems, and then it goes from there.
Well, I just read about the 3 cases here in Maryland. They came to the hospital voluntarily sick, and they were deemed as non-critical patients, and they were literally sent home and self-quarantined.
There you go.
So, I mean, these were, from what I've read, they were old. The 2 of them, at least, are older patients. So if they didn't think it was critical enough to keep them in a hospital, maybe the hospitals are not equipped for that. I'm sure they are.
And it may be premature for them to be in a hospital. Maybe if you go home, do this. But if it gets to this level, then come back.
Right.
It's like you're in labor, but no, you're come back in 12 hours unless it gets worse. Unless you start getting closer, that kind of stuff. Because having them sit in the hospital, my mother died of pneumonia after surgery in the hospital.
Right.
People die in hospitals, not from maybe what they went in for, but from something else. So maybe self-quarantining them at home is going to help just with the system right now. And once you hit a certain thing, then it might have you come back. So, but get some expectorants like we talked about earlier, like Mucinex, and help them. It's all pretty much all we've heard so far. It's all just keeping the patient comfortable.
Yeah. There's really no treatment.
Naturally heal themselves.
Exactly.
We've
maintain
all seen that elderberry. Oh, get the elderberry. Vitamin C, high doses of vitamin C. Obviously, and we talked about it before. Healthy diet, exercise, plenty of liquids, that kind of stuff. It's all going to help you. It's not going to hurt you to drink plenty of liquids and get some exercise.
Well, we have been taking Airborne since this literally started. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
No, I haven't.
No, we have.
The only thing I did was go Airborne. I went to a plane, flew across the country.
No, we've been taking Airborne.
And then tonight I went to a bar to have dinner. But yeah, we've been tracking this since day 2.
Yeah, literally.
That once it hit and we did. There was a collective oh shit from about 8 of us actually, I think.
Yeah.
And we all started following it, and we all started following the official word, not crazy YouTube people.
Yeah.
So
I watched or listened to some program, and I've mentioned it in the last 2 podcasts that we've done that was on the shortwave radio about this, and the New World Order has sent this virus, and the globalists, and oh my God, it makes me just
Yeah, it's stupid. What did I just sign up for today? The Center for Health Security from Johns Hopkins sent out, you can sign up and get email updates. It's about the coronavirus.
Well, right on the front page of Yahoo, there is a tab now. I noticed it earlier, right at the top, and it says coronavirus updates. Legitimate
there you
news.
go.
Legitimate
So,
AP news, not opinions, not batshit crazy conspiracy theories that this came from outer space, which that's my favorite one so far.
They pulled that. Did I tell you that?
No.
The dude that created Walking Dead tweeted a couple months ago that that's where the illness or whatever that created The Walking Dead came from space. It was spaceborne.
Gotcha.
So
well,
someone took it from that and slapped "scientists believe" on the end of it.
Yeah.
So, so just...
Are we opening the 21st Century Prepper page back up for no comments to share news? What was your feelings on that?
Boy, I tell you, but unfortunately everybody can comment on old posts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'd literally have to turn commenting off for every post.
Every post. There's no global button for that?
I don't think so. I can check it out, but, yeah, I can check it out. Maybe I should get up at like 3 in the morning and check it out when barely anybody's on.
Yeah.
And then I can turn it off right away. Add some updates and turn it off.
Because I can promise the listeners that while we may say that we're on top of this pretty good, and everything that we've told you guys is verified information, and we're staying on top of it. If you keep tuning in, you're going to get today's date, by the way, is 3/5. We're a couple days behind, so stuff is happening pretty fast.
Yeah. And, we're not, and we've said it before, we're not medical professionals. No. I have no medical training.
Nothing professional about Pete or myself.
I've got no medical training beyond first aid and CPR, and but it's just kind of common sense information. What can you do for yourself and for your family? And I've been sitting around thinking about not this particular thing, but I've been thinking about prepping for 20 years, if not longer. I kind of started when I was a preteen. We grew up in the Cold War,
Yep. I was a Boy Scout, so,
So, it's just, I worked overnights at a grocery store, for God's sakes. You have a lot of time to think where you're stocking shelves. So, and luckily I worked with guys who had the same mind, set. So we bounce crap off of each other all the time. So we're not just throwing this shit out there and
hoping it sticks.
Again,
right?
I don't make any money doing this. I lose money doing this. I lose sleep doing this. I spend, when I was running 21st, 16 hours a day monitoring, if not more, sometimes 18 hours a day, monitoring that thing to keep it sane. And I just got myself burned out. That's why it's no longer turned on, because it just got to the point where
some of it was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you'd say, keep politics out of something because somebody said something political, and they probably meant no harm or no foul over it, but and
sometimes they did,
and sometimes they did, and then it would just take off because somebody get offended, and then another person got offended that they got offended, and then finally somebody would blame us for not allowing free speech.
Yeah.
Well, no, this isn't free speech. This is our group. We start it. We run it. These are the rules. If you don't like them,
go someplace else.
Get the fuck out.
I kind of got that with my new group the other day. Did you see the one post about that one? Yeah, it's like, fuck off. I didn't say that. I was nicer. I didn't invite the guy to the page. Someone else did that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
invited him to the page.
Gotcha.
So take it easy.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. Think things through. Make some plans. Inform people who are in that you think would help you fulfill your plans. Inform them of your ideas. Discuss it with them. Make sure you got some money on hand. Make sure you got some supplies on hand. minimally 2 weeks worth of food, if not 3. If you stretch 4, stretch 4. If you, I have I have rice that I can add to things.
Yeah, so
I have pasta that I can add to things. So if you have a couple cans of soup, you can add more rice and more pasta to it to stretch it out, and you add a little bit more water or some bouillon or whatever, and you can stretch out a Campbell's chunky soup that's only 2 servings. Did you know that? My stepson eats the whole thing at one time.
Of course.
It's 2 servings in a can of chunky soup.
But you're supposed to cut it with water too, aren't you? Not the chunky, but the regular Campbell soup.
Regular ones you're supposed to cut with water. But the chunky, you can add more water and add more pasta or add some rice or add some potatoes to it and make it, instead of 2 servings, you can make it 3 or 4.
Right.
You can do stuff like that. You can stretch out and go get some cereal. Go get some bread. Bread will mold. Guess what? Throw it in the freezer. Yeah, it's not the best when you take it out of the freezer, but you don't have to take the whole damn thing out of the freezer. You can take 5 slices out or whatever.
Get a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly,
Yep, and right there you got wheat bread, 12-grain bread. You get your grains. Your peanut butter is protein, and you get some real jelly or real jam.
Yep.
There's your fruit. There's you got in a sandwich. You got 3 things right there, right? Go to Walmart and buy the big ass things of apple juice, for $2.50. Your kids will drink your apple juice. There's your fruit. It counts. Trust me, it counts. We use it in one of our businesses. It counts as a ketchup under the Michelle Obama school food lunch thing. Ketchup counts as a vegetable. So don't ask me why.
I had a lot of
don't
vegetables
ask me how. But it does. Just think about what you eat, that kind of stuff. Have something to do, because you might get stir crazy. And be nice to each other.
You're going to get stir. It's not Mike.
Because
you're
going to go.
Yeah, you're going to go stir crazy. Yeah, there's no question. There's no way you can be in a house for 2 weeks with no goals and you're going to go crazy. Yeah.
Set up an exercise plan. Set up whatever. Maybe not everybody sleep at the same time. Maybe someone stays up. Dad stays up until 2, and mom goes to bed at 10, and then dad goes to bed at 2 o'clock, and mom gets up at 6, and dad gets up at 8 or whatever, or 10 or whatever, and then the kids sleep in their regular patterns. So that way, there's always someone available in case someone has issues or whatever. And then you're not always on each other all day long. You don't wake up at the same time, so you're not looking at each other all day long at the same time. We didn't touch on security. People will be like, why didn't you talk about having an AR-15? Lock your damn doors. Turn your house lights on. Turn the outside lights on. People who are out, if someone's going to break into your house, be foolish to break in your house, because most likely there's someone in the house. Burglars don't like when people are in the house, generally. But they definitely don't like light. So turn your outside lights on and leave them on. And maybe leave a couple lights on inside when you go to bed, whatever. If you have firearms, good for you. Just lock your damn doors.
I think my thing, do some housekeeping now before you're stuck in the house. Make it so that you can't, if you can't stand being in your living room now, imagine when you have to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you need to do your spring cleaning, like you said, if you want to repaint a room, hopefully go for it, Talk to your other half, your partner, your kids, whatever you have. Talk to them about what you guys can do alone so that you don't want to kill each other at the end of the day,
Yeah.
That's a
Make some spaces. Hang if the kids share a room, hang a couple sheets up in the middle of the room, tack them into the ceiling. Who cares? There's a hole, so they can be divided.
Yeah, set ground rules if you have one Xbox.
Yeah. Oh yeah, set the kitchen timer. Ding 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 ding. While they're doing the one thing, so the other kid doesn't get all bitchy at Timmy because he's been playing too long. Set the rules and follow the rules, most importantly. That's pretty much an everyday thing anyway.
Right.
If you set rules for your kids and you don't follow them, then why have I see that every day. So I think we've covered quite a bit.
Yeah, go get a 1,000-piece puzzle or something, you know. There's so much you guys can do out there as a family or even by yourself. I mean, we're saying family, but if you're by yourself, you know, look for you have a hobby. Do your favorite hobby for 2 hours a day. Watch TV for an hour a day. You know, set yourself a schedule. That a lot of people like that mindset of having something
word
scheduled
search,
to
crossword puzzles,
Sudoku, something.
Yep. And we did talk mainly about families, but single people out there.
I'd imagine that'd probably be really, really something we should have talked about though. Is the single aspect of it, what to do when you're alone, because you can go stir crazy pretty damn quick.
Oh yeah. Imagine the naps though. The naps are going to be fantastic.
Right.
Instead of sleeping 4 hours, I slept 20.
I just saw the funniest thing on Facebook, and I want to share it with my viewers. And sorry, anybody that's Irish, but it says alcohol helps kill coronavirus, and the meme says "Hold my scotch."
Oh yeah, I've seen that
for
one.
Irish.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So single people, make sure you contact people and know where you are, how you've been doing, what you have,
right.
That kind of stuff. So and if you know any other single people, contact them and say, hey,
check in once a day. Yeah.
How's it going, Bob? How's it going, Jill? Whatever, you know. It's crazy.
Have a contact.
Download some apps and play games against each other or whatever.
And have a contact like your family or
the
something, so that you can, you know, in case you do get sick, you call in and check in every few hours, and that way they know if you don't call that you could be in bad condition and may need the medical services or something, you know.
Yeah. So, so I think
hour and 22 minutes. Yeah.
It's just the other thing is, like we said at the beginning, the quarantining part. If you want to self-quarantine prior to an official announcement,
I am officially doing that. I'll put it out there for the viewers. I have no reason that I need to go anywhere, so I'm not.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's almost pretty much daily for you. You don't want to, right?
Yeah, if I don't want to
go
anywhere.
You make your choices to go. We all make, since you're injured and not working,
right?
You don't have to go. You're not going to work, so the rest of us do go to work. Luckily, I work in my own home, but you know, all the other times it's you choose to leave your house.
Absolutely.
So okay, well, I guess we'll wrap her up. We'll keep updating. Updates might be a lot shorter than our previous update.
Yeah, this is.
I don't think we need to talk 55 minutes.
We don't need this one.
But just an update here and there. But yeah, so just remember, keep calm. Don't freak out.
Don't
look at it logically.
$5,000 in credit card bills either. Please don't do that. I said don't rack up $5,000 in credit card bills prepping for something like this right now either. Don't do it.
Going and buying 3 weeks worth of food should not cost you a whole lot. Now, obviously, if you buy crab legs and steaks and expensive stuff, it's going to cost you. But if you buy simple basics and maybe off brands, you can get 3 weeks worth of food for just a couple $100. So, especially if you make stuff from scratch.
Yeah.
And look online for some. They have websites where they have deconstructed restaurant meals, right? If you like some soup from whatever Olive Garden, what's famous at Olive Garden?
I have not got a clue.
Whatever, something at Olive or whatever, some soup someplace or some salad dressing at some. They have websites that you can go and look at the deconstructed recipe of it that they've estimated what it is. Look at those and get the ingredients, and you can make your own damn salad dressing or whatever. So there's lots of stuff you can do. So you don't have to go spend $1,000 on food and think it's going to last 3 weeks. It's probably going to last you a lot longer than that. So, but yeah, take it easy, stay calm, listen to official word, not crazy Bob or crazy Bill or crazy Susan. We're going to lump the ladies in here. Just chill.